color. Good morning. Good morning, Instagram. I'm sorry that I lost you. Yeah, I bought it in Fayetteville. I'll just tell you where I got it if you're in the area. I bought it at Fayetteville, at Good Morning, Amen. I love seeing all these names that I now know. And thank you so much, Alita, for being my moderator this morning. You guys, I've had so many beautiful things happening recently. But anyway, okay, I'm going to tell you where my live video blocked. Oh, I know. Okay, I'm not allowed to play the music that I played without being in trouble. So maybe that's what happened. Okay, we'll see what happens. I played my music. I forgot that. They're so silly, about the music. Anyway, so I bought the wig in Fayetteville at a big, huge wig store beside, there's like a big thrift store there. And I went thrifting when I got there in January. And then there was a huge beauty store beside it. So if you're from that area, you might know where I am. And I walked in and it was about 5 minutes before closing. And I have wanted a wig for a really long time. I'm not kidding you. And so I wonder if they're going to let me play this video. That's okay. I can always slice it and dice it and put it up. Anyway, because I had the music in it, right? They get so upset when you use music. Okay, so here's what happened. I walk into the wig store and I said to the women, I want to buy a wig. And she's like, what kind of a wig? And I said, I want to have some pink in it. I just feel like having some pink in it. And so she said, I've got the perfect wig for you. And she brought me over to this wig and I just said, sold. She said, you don't want to try it on? I said, I don't need to. And I love it. And I'm growing my hair out right now. I want my hair to look like this. I mean, it's super, super thick, but isn't it the funnest wig ever? And it, of course, is very Crush Coffee because all of you know that I have a coffee brand called Crush Coffee Co. And the entire brand is pink. If you're not familiar, you should be. I'm actually drinking out of my Crush Coffee mug this morning. If you want a mug, I can send it to you. Just DM me. I can't send you coffee right now. There's all kinds of weird stuff going on at the border. But look at these mugs. Aren't they gorgeous? So pink is my favorite color, as you've probably figured out. And so, all of that being said, I bought the wig. Okay, that's the wig story. Lace up your boots. Okay, who's ready? I have been thinking about building a legacy business and how incredibly important it is for women in particular to build legacy businesses. What I'm going to ask you to do this morning is I'm going to ask you to tag people in the comments and share this out. So you might not know how to share. And thank you to all of you incredible people who have been sharing. I love you for sharing. You have no idea the impact that sharing has for people like me who actually step forward in business and build their business online, trying to reach people around the globe. When somebody shares a video, it's huge because what it does is it puts me in front of your audience, an audience that I would not have access to otherwise. And it's with your permission, right? You share it and then people in your community will hit play. So when you're sharing, sometimes it's good to say like, Romy is my new coach, or she's a pastor that I've been listening to online, or she's somebody who I really jibe with, like everything that she says moves me. And then what you do is you just put that in the comments so that people understand why you're sharing it. Because sometimes we just share things over and people are like, why are you sharing it? Do you know what I mean? And I know that not everybody looks at it that way, because if you're not an online entrepreneur, you might not even understand how all these things work. But it really helps if you share a little tidbit about why you're sharing it. It could be something like, if you're struggling with trying to build a business, watch this live. Or if you really want to have somebody, put a fire under your butt, watch this live. Or, she's got really great wigs, watch this live. You know what I mean? Anyway, I love you. So one of the things I want to just bring forward really quickly is that recently Real Talk Kim said to her community, I really think it's important for you guys to go out and serve those who are serving you. I think it's really important that if you're going to jump onto people's lives and you're going to, bring all of the goodness that they're bringing and planning for to serve you, if you're going to bring all of that into your life, like, go back out and serve them in some way. And I was on the live when she said that. And what was really amazing was that a whole bunch of people then came in and offered to be moderators for my lives. And I was absolutely blown away by that. I mean, that is just such a gift. It's such a gift because what it does, it allows me to not worry. Something about one sec here. It allows me to not worry. It looks like for some reason my phone isn't charging properly. Okay, there it is. Now it's charging. You guys, I dropped my phone in the sink last night. I dropped my iPhone in the sink. Just a little bit, but just enough that I'm worried about it now. Okay, so anyway, it was just so amazing for Chris Foster and Alita and Angel and Sarah Douglas to step forward and say, hey, if you need a moderator, I would love to moderate for you. And so I just want to thank all of you publicly for stepping forward, because it really does help. They drop links in the comments, so it's easy for you. If somebody comes on and says something about my hair, they can delete them. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's really just so beautiful to know that people are in your corner, right? And I want to show up for you every single day, Monday to Friday at 9:30, and talk to you about faith, talk to you about building a business, talk to you about building a faith-led business, all of those things. And so it allows me to just focus on you. And that's really important. So thank you so much, you guys, for doing that. Okay, so I know that it's Thursday. So Thursday is Legacy Business Live Day. So we do Legacy Business Live on Tuesday and Thursday. I love you guys too. Thank you. We do Legacy Business Live here on Instagram and Facebook. And we're also going to be doing it on YouTube starting next week. And we're also going to be doing it on TikTok. Okay? My problem was that I didn't have enough devices because I have so many devices, cell phones and all of that kind of stuff. But when I start charging them, they don't hold a charge because they're old. So I've got some new devices. I've got a Samsung iPad that's pretty new that I've never used for anything. So I'm going to set that up, and then I've got access to one other phone. So I think I'm going to be able to have 4 devices. Okay? Because I need my laptop for notes. I was using it before for YouTube, but I really need it for notes so that I don't get off track. So hopefully we'll be in all of those places. Now, another thing that I wanted to share with you is that I've been slowly putting my videos up on YouTube. So you're going to be able to find all of the recordings for all of the calls on YouTube, which makes it really easy for you. So my YouTube is Romy Marlowe, Uncommon Woman. I think it's Romy Marlowe _ Uncommon Woman. You can look it up. Maybe Alita, you can search it and then put it in the comments. And then if you go there, you'll notice that I've started posting the recordings, because what's happening is the recordings all get buried in my feed and then people are trying to find them, right? So right now I've got the recordings for Uncommon Woman Ministry Live going up. I haven't put the Legacy Live business recordings up yet, but I will be doing that this week. So you're going to be able to go to my YouTube channel and go all the way back and watch all of them. Isn't that exciting? So we're getting organized over here because we're building a global movement. And if you have a global movement, you have to have a global mentality. Write that down. If you want to have a global movement, you have to have a global mentality, which means that I have to be able to provide the recordings, for example, to people who might be in a different time zone. So I have people, like one of my regional directors lives in Australia. And so she can't be on my lives, right? Because she's 17 hours ahead. So what happens is that she misses all the Legacy Business Lives and the Uncommon Woman Ministry Lives. So that's just an example. If I put everything over on my YouTube, then she'll just know that she can go to YouTube every day and she can watch my lives instead of having to scroll down my feed and look for it. And then sometimes things don't show up on the feed, it gets really messy. So everything's going to be over on YouTube. So what you need to do right now is you need to go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And when you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you will have access to, first of all, there's a whole bunch of stuff on there that I've done for years. You'll see me with my really super, super short blonde hair, like 10 years ago, interviewing people. I used to do lots and lots of interviews. And so go to Romy Marlowe _Uncommon Woman on YouTube. And I think Alita's going to put the link in. And then you can find all of the recordings for all of the lives. But you're going to have to subscribe. And then that way, when a new one goes up, or when something new, because I'm going to be I have so much content, you guys. Like, not just stuff that we do here, but content that I have recorded over the years. It's all going to go up on YouTube. All those videos are going to go up on YouTube. It's going to blow your mind how many trainings I've done for all kinds of things. Okay? Thank you, Alita. She's amazing. Thank you. Like, she's totally doing this without even knowing that I was going to have her do that. All right. So just a reminder, videos are now going to be up on YouTube if you want to watch the recordings. So you can always go there. Right now, if you went to the Uncommon Woman, if you went to my YouTube right now, you would see a whole bunch of the Uncommon Woman Ministry lives. So if you've ever missed one, you can go over. And I always give the little theme in the subject, okay? And the Legacy Business Lives are going to go up there as well. If you're in my Crushing It Collective, the good news is now all of the recordings from the calls before, so if you weren't in the Crushing It Collective and now you are, you'll get to go back and watch the recordings. They're all on YouTube, but it's a private link. So I'll just have to send you the links and you can go and watch those. So that's super exciting. Okay, yeah, go find it and subscribe, because what will happen now is that whenever I put a new video up, you'll get a notification. And like I said, I have so much content that you're going to be like, ding, 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 ding. I put some shorts up yesterday. I started loading videos up yesterday. It was so good. Okay, so before we start, one more thing. If you're not signed up for the Legacy Business Live and you've been on these calls, you need to get in that masterclass. We start April 6th. What's really important about that masterclass is what we're doing here is just scratching the surface. In the masterclass over 6 weeks, I'm going to teach you how to build a legacy business. What does that mean? A legacy business is a business that has 4 characteristics, okay? Write these down. Write these down. You ready? Number 1, it aligns with your values. So you might have a business right now that is amazing, but it doesn't really align with your values. A legacy business aligns with your values, meaning that you could do it forever and ever and ever. It'll never get old. Like, you guys, when I do these calls, I feel like I'm playing. I'm dancing. I got my wig on. I get to talk to my people. I have incredible people in my community. This doesn't feel like work to me, but it is. And it's because it's a legacy business. It aligns with your values. Number 2, your whole heart is in it, meaning that it is so important to you that you do the thing because it's your heart. The reason that I do the work that I do is because of what's happened to me in my life. I turn my mess into my message. I turn my pain into my power, right? I turned my life into my living. I actually have taken the bad, painful, terrible things that have happened in my life, and I've turned them into my business. It's what I do every day, all day. What a blessing. Like, thank you, Jesus. Like, seriously, I know now that it was all a result of that conversation I had with God in 2013 when I was on my knees. And you guys know that story. I've told it so many times. The reason I do the work I do is because of what happened to me in my life. And I thought, I don't ever want another woman to have to experience what I've experienced. I don't ever want another woman to experience the pain and the rejection and the fear and the darkness and the excruciating asphyxiation that I felt. Have you ever been asphyxiated by a situation? Have you ever felt like your voice was taken away? Have you ever felt like the person that you are is lost? Have you ever felt like you used to be one way and then you turn around and you're like, how did I get here? How did I become this person? How did this become my life? Because this is not who I thought I was going to be. This is not who I thought I was going to marry. This is not what I thought my life was going to look like. This is not what I thought I would be doing at 54. This is not what I thought that I would be doing at 45. This is not the life that I want. This is not what I want my children to see. This is not what I want my parents to see. This is not what I want my friends to see. This is not what I want my soul to go through all day, every day. This is not how I'm going to live my life. Have you ever felt that? Because that's where this business, where my business, Uncommon Woman, was built from. It's a legacy business. It aligns with my values. It aligns with my heart. Number 3, it's not a hobby. It's a business. It's something that matters to you. You're going to give it an LLC. You're going to register it. You're going to show up on time. You're going to treat it like a business, not like a hobby, because it's too important. It's too important that it doesn't ever end. Right? That is a legacy business. Right? I mean, a legacy business has to be profitable so that you can build your life from it. A legacy business has to be something that, sorry, I'm just opening my notes. It has to be something that other people want to be a part of. It's something that people say yes to, right? It's something that people say, wow, I get it. I need that in my life. And then the fourth thing that a legacy business is, so remember, it comes from your heart. It aligns with your values. It's not a hobby. And the fourth one that's really important is that it can continue long after you're gone. That's what a legacy business is. Hi, Trisha. Hi, Chris Foster. Hi, Millie. I want to say hi to people. I love you guys. Hi, Kimberly. Thank you for being here, everybody. Reagan. Okay, Reagan, did you get into the Uncommon Woman ministry, like global ministry group? Because you got it. You said, you should have an email from Olivia, who is my VA. She knows that you and Alita joined, and I didn't see you come into the group. I just want to make sure you're in. So check your emails. Anyway, just check your emails. Okay? Check your emails, check your junk mail. Okay, back to it. So those are the 4 characteristics of a legacy business. So that's really important for you to know. Because right there, you can legitimately look at what it is that you're building. If you're building something right now and say, does it align with my values? Is my whole heart in it? Am I treating it like a hobby or a business? Have I registered it? Have I turned it into a business? Am I honoring and respecting it the way that I need to honor and respect it in order for it to act like a business? In order for it to treat me like a business, I need to treat it like a business. See, people forget that those two things actually go together. That in order for your business to treat you like a business owner, you need to treat your business like a business, not a hobby. Okay? Okay. And then the fourth one is that if anything ever happened to you, is there somebody there to carry it? I remember a few years ago, the Uncommon Woman, I'm getting up there. I'm 56. I'm not old by any means. I'm not saying that. Listen, I'm not one of those people who's like, I'm 55, I'm old. Are you kidding me? I am just, you guys, look at what I got on my head. Do I seem like somebody who acts old? Okay. I am like the youngest 56-year-old that I know, for real. And also, I have built a movement called Uncommon Woman that changes lives. And I thought, what if something happens to me? Who's going to keep it going? I needed to keep going. There's like 2,500 women in a Facebook group. You know, there's thousands of people on my email list, right? There's 14,000 people on my business page. There's a lot of people in this community. Even after I took a pause while my mom was sick, like from building, there's still a lot of people around. And now all of you gorgeous people, I want to take care of you. I want to make sure that things keep going. A legacy business is a business that keeps going after you're gone. That's what a legacy is. So for me, it was really important to get some regional directors on board. So now I have Kelly Ethington, Uncommon Woman USA. I highly recommend finding Uncommon Woman USA and following it, because she's just getting started, okay? And she's in the States, which means that look at my little wiggy thing is like coming out. I don't even know what's going on. She is going to be running live events. I think she's doing I know she's doing a Bible study right now. I think Sarah Douglas is in it, right? There's a lot of women from the States in her community already. And then I have Kim Phillips in Australia. Australia has one of the highest occurrences of domestic violence. So we need women in Australia doing this work. So she's picked it up. So now we have Uncommon Women Australia and we have Uncommon Women USA. I'm building a legacy business. I just met with them in Guatemala for a week. We spent a week together talking about what it means to be an uncommon woman and what it means to be a leader at the Lead with Love retreat. Because it's important that if anything happens to me, that they continue to carry it. So I spent a week pouring into them to make sure that they can turn around and do that work, whether I'm there or not. They have each other now. See how it works? That's a legacy business. So when I'm telling you, now, and Crush Coffee is also legacy business. I brought a business partner on. We're trying to grow really fast. We're building a cafe and roastery right now. We're in Real Canadian Superstore, which is the largest grocery chain in Canada. We are trying to grow quickly so that it becomes a legacy business, because I want Crush to keep going no matter what happens to me. So I'm building 2 legacy businesses. I know a little bit about it. So I want you to get in the room in this masterclass, because I'm going to teach you how to do it. People think that they know, but most people don't even have their businesses registered. And they're talking about it like it's a business. I'm like, you haven't even got past step 1 yet. Like, come on. We have to start treating our businesses with respect. Okay, so here's where we're going today. So do you guys remember on Tuesday, I used the acronym VOICE? Put VOICE in the comments if you remember. And if you don't remember, that's okay. Just put VOICE. I'm just going to look at my, I'm looking for my notes here. So we talked about, wait, I got to find it now. Here it is. Okay, my notes. So we talked about using your voice first, before all else. Remember I said I was a gym owner. I was down on my knees. I had a conversation with God. He said, you need to turn around and start supporting women with stories like yours. 2 years later, when I felt ready, after my life was cleaned up a bit, I couldn't do it right then in the way that I'm doing it now. But what I did was I changed the way that I coached women at my gym. And so then what happened was, when I was ready, I decided to close my gym and build a platform online so that I could impact and affect more women. And so then I started going live and using my voice. And it didn't matter. It did not matter that I didn't know anything about business or funnels or accounting. Oh my gosh, my books were a mess. You guys, but what I did was I started using my voice, and that first year, my platform grew exponentially. It started with my mom being the only person in my Facebook group. And I remember her saying, How is this a global ministry of one person in the Facebook group and it's me? And I said, just you wait. So on Tuesday, we talked about using your voice, remember? And I said, when you're just starting, the first thing you got to do is use your voice. The first thing that you've got to do is use your voice. Because everything else doesn't matter. Just get your message out there while you're building. Sorry, messages came through. I hate when that happens on my phone. While you're learning how to build a business, while you're trying to figure out your direction, while you're trying to figure it all out, what I ask you to do is just start talking about it. Just use your voice. Hit live. Start a Facebook group. Send text messages out. Tell people about what it is that you're building. It's free. Social media is free. All of these things are free. So remember that the acronym for voice, right, was V. Validate your voice. I'm not going to go through them all again. Hi, everybody. Validate your voice, right? That was the first one. The second one was own your story. And these are all things, by the way, that come from within. You don't need anybody to do this for you. You validate your own voice, right? I've been given my voice by God. Therefore, boom, red stamp, I get to go talk. You get to own your story. Your story is your own. You don't need to ask permission. And you also don't have to tell the whole world every detail. Don't name names. Just say, I was in a really bad situation and I got myself out. I was in a really bad marriage and I got myself out. I had a really bad experience as a teenager and I healed myself. I had really bad trauma with girlfriends. I don't know. And now I have amazing friends. Like, I used to have all kinds of weight issues and an eating disorder or, an unhealthy relationship with food. I got help and I've healed myself. Like, you don't have to get into all the details. And this is one of the things that we talk about in the Uncommon Woman Global Ministry this month is how to give a testimonial without telling all the stuff that nobody cares about. Just own the story. Stand on the shoulders of your story. I always say this to my clients. Stand on the shoulders of your story. Say that out loud. Stand on the shoulders of your story. Come on, say it one more time. Stand on the shoulders of your story. What does that mean? That you stand on the shoulders of your story and you look down at it. You don't look up at it like it's towering over you. You look down on it like you own it. Lord, lead me to the rock that is higher than I. Right? When we get to the rock that is higher and we turn around, we can look down at all of the stuff that we've been through and say, that was me. And look at me now, God. We get to stand high on the rock. We have done it. We have walked the walk. And the thing is, you might not be at the top of the rock yet, but you're higher than you were. So act like you're higher than you were. I hate when people who have overcome, they're out of the marriage, they're sober, they're whatever it is that they're doing, and they still act like they're right in it. And I'm thinking, have you taken a look at your life? You actually left that slime ball. You actually stopped allowing alcohol to rule your life. Or you actually left that job that was so miserable because you were being overlooked and abused. Why are you still acting like the victim? When are you going to get out of the victim? Because as far as I can see, the worst is over. It might be uncomfortable. Welcome to life. Stand on the shoulders of your story. If you've had a sweet baby die, I've had women in my community in deep grief because they lost a child. And I used to say to them, sis, I don't even know the pain. But what I do know is that you thought it was going to kill you, and it didn't. You thought you could never survive a miscarriage or an abortion or the death of a child. Yet here you are. Don't you dare diminish that, because there was a time when you thought you wouldn't be able to breathe and maybe you almost couldn't. But look at you now. here. Won't he do it? Come on. We have to look at every single thing. So do you see that you might feel like a victim, but if you are out of the thing that victimized you, then you are not a victim. We have to stop acting like that in our businesses. If you want to build a legacy business, you got to pull up your boots. Yeah, you do. Because nobody wants to buy from a victim. I talked about this on Tuesday. Nobody wants to get in a container with somebody who's still in victim. Why would I pay somebody any amount of money to be in their space if all they do is talk about the junk that they went through? All I have to do is open up social media and I can see that. I want to pay people who have moved through it. That doesn't mean that you're all the way there. But your number one through line story is not all the terrible stuff that happened to you. And now you're here to tell everybody that they have to. No. What's the gift? What's the gift? I remember, this is so crazy, okay? I remember when I was doing my Seeds to Stage program and I had these women whose children were murdered. I had women who, like, you guys, I can't even tell you the stories. Women whose husbands used, like a choice of end of life, and they stood with them, watching the clock go, waiting for the doctor to come in. Like, I'm talking women who, lost both of their breasts and their legs, and you name it. And I would be in front of these women in my programming, and I would say things that nobody's ever said to them before. I would say things like, yeah, but you're here. Imagine how many people can learn from you. What happened to you was horrifying, but you're in my space because something about me and your story came together. And you want to talk about it. And I'm not going to let you stand in the pit and talk about it, because that's not what I do. You came into my world because you're ready to stand on the shoulders of your story, aren't you? And they'd say, I am. And now those women are advocates. They stand on stages. They have podcasts. They're writing books because they needed somebody to tell them, get up. Take that terrible story and turn it into the best thing that ever happened in your life. Not the thing itself, but the gift that came from it. Okay? Don't get me wrong. I hate when people try to paraphrase it. The thing that happened was horrible. And at the time, you were in a job that you hated. And the only gift that you can see, but it's a big one, is that now you get to be an advocate and do work that matters to you and build a legacy business. So that horrifying thing that happened, at least one good thing came of it. But now you get to stand on that for the rest of your life. And won't your child be so proud of you? Because I know, I can't even imagine how easy it would be to stay in bed for the rest of your life. Because you got other kids to love and take care of. Or you lost your breast, but you still have your heart. Right? Or you almost lost your life to addiction, but now you're here to tell the story. That's so important. I used to hold these women up and say, do you understand how important you are? Do you understand that you've been chosen? Do you understand that this is your legacy? It's a horrifying price to pay, but you're the right person to do it. Not everybody who goes through these things gets back up, but God knew that you could. I know it's a hard message to hear, but what's the option? I used to say to them, if not this, then what? If not this, then what? And they would say, I don't know. I can't. You know what's crazy? I'm going to tell you what's crazy is these women healed by sharing their stories. They would say to me, I've been in therapy for 10 years. Me standing on a stage with a microphone and talking about my story has healed me 10x. Because really all I needed to do was talk about it to other people, not just a therapist. And I don't have anything against therapy, believe me. My brother's one of the best therapists on the planet. But you get to a point where you have to start doing something else because maybe the therapy's kind of like they've done all the work that they can do. Because any therapist will tell you the therapy doesn't work unless you do the work. And they would say, me standing, holding a microphone, and talking to 500 other mamas who lost their children about how I made it through was the salve for my wound. That had more impact on my healing than therapy ever could. Because I got to say it out loud. See, this is the thing. Women need to activate their voices about whatever happened. If you have been sexually molested as a child, if you have been traumatized at some level, what your voice can do for you, nothing else can do for you. And we don't have to make it about the other people. We make it about us. And that's what it means to stand on the shoulders of your story. You don't give those people one more second of your time. You own your story. That's O. Okay? And then remember, I was interrupt fear. Right? We already know what that means. No matter what, with your knees knocking, you go in and you do the thing. C, create confidence through action. The only way that you can actually build confidence is to do it. So if you're not doing it, you'll never have the confidence. So when are you going to start doing it? Because if you want the confidence so that you can someday stand on the stage and tell your story, you better start right now. And start by hitting live. Because at least you don't have anybody in front of you. You don't see faces. You don't see people sleeping and drooling while you're talking. You are the only one that you can see. So start there. Okay? E, embody authority. Okay, so this was all about stand in your power. If you're going to talk, if you're going to use your voice, use your authority. Stand in your power. Make it count. Own your story. You were there. You don't need a certificate. You know how many people have certificates, yet they've never been through the thing? Who would you rather talk to about the thing that you've been through? Somebody who's been through it and risen, or somebody who just read about it in a textbook and now they're going to try to help you through it? You tell me. You tell me. Come on. All right. So here's what I want to tell you today, quickly, about what it means to be an unapologetic voice for your work. Now, how does this have to do with legacy business? Because if you don't use your voice and start talking about what it is that you're building, it will never become a reality. So before you even do anything else, well, go register. Find a name. Even just put it under your name. Joe Smith, LLC. Like, don't worry about it, because that's just your business registration name. Nobody sees that. Everybody gets all caught up. What should I name it? I'm like, just go name it you. Because you're going to have programs and events and platforms and products, and they're going to have their own names. Just go call it you. Just go register it. Just go do the thing. Because it feels really good when you register your business. You feel like you've actually taken some authority in your own business and in your own life to make it a real thing. And you can register your business online for really inexpensive. You do not have to hire a lawyer. Just Google it, okay? All right. So what does it mean to have an unapologetic voice? This is what we're going to do for the next few minutes before we go. To have an unapologetic voice means that you're grounded in truth. Okay, let's talk about grounded in truth. Grounded, let's break that term down. Grounded. Grounded means that you are standing on solid ground, feet on the ground. I talked about this a lot with my women at my retreat in Guatemala, the level ground concept, that we need to be on level ground. Don't go start a business if everything is chaos around you. Get yourself on level ground because people feel the energy of you in your business. Let me say that again. People feel the energy of you in your business. You registered yours. That's amazing. Sorry, I haven't been reading the comments because I've been going like a mad woman here. Okay? But it's important for you to remember that you might, I always talk about this in my Rose Gold Leadership, which by the way, I do one-on-one mentorship for people who really want to fast forward their businesses. It's called Rose Gold Leadership. I've been doing that for 6 years now, helping women build businesses, and I work with C-suites, I work with women behind closed doors. And the reason that I support them behind closed doors is because so often their lives are a complete hot mess behind closed doors. And then they wonder why their business isn't working. This is like so important. If your relationships are a mess, if you're drinking yourself to sleep every night, if you're angry, if you're gossipy, if you're unhealthy, it's going to show up in your business. How? People aren't going to come around. Because people are smart. I always say to people, give your clients or the people who have yet to find you more credit. You know, give them more credit. They're not stupid. Like when you guys come on here, you probably feel my energy, right? You know me. You can tell that I live in integrity. I'm happy. I'm healthy, right? I'm building 2 legacy businesses. I talk about them. You can go find them. You know that I have regional directors. I'm throwing it in front of you so that you see that I'm in integrity, right? I've been ordained so that you know that the person who's doing the ministry with you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday takes it seriously. I mean, I guess not everybody who's ordained takes it seriously, but let me tell you, I do. That was a big decision for me. And when PK ordained me, I looked at her and I said to her, I will not mess this up because she did it. And I honor her because I know how in integrity she is. And I said, I will not mess this up. And she said, I know you won't. That was a whole new level of commitment to my faith in January for me. Because I wanted to be that much more committed. So I was rebaptized in June. And this was part of building my legacy business because I have a ministry. So in June, I was rebaptized and things started changing real fast in June. And there was a lot of discomfort because things in my life that weren't really in super alignment with who I was becoming had to go. Friendships, some of the behaviors, some of the things in my life that, you know, were kind of like over here. And I was like, well, that's okay once in a while. No, I had to get rid of all kinds of stuff. That was June. And then in January, I said, let's do this. I want to be ordained. She said, okay, you're ready. She's been mentoring me, so she knows what's going on behind closed doors in my life. She said, you're ready, sister. And I said to her, I'm not going to mess this up. What goes on behind closed doors impacts your life. So to be grounded in truth is to put your feet flat on the ground and say, I am 10 toes down in what I'm doing, even when nobody's looking. Don't be a health coach. Don't sell a bunch of health products and then eat like a mammoth. Like if you're going to be a health wellness coach / mentor, walk it. I would never hire anybody in a million years who didn't represent my vision of what it looks like to be healthy. Because if I'm going to learn from you, you better have something to teach me. Why would I hire somebody if I could teach them more than they could teach me? It doesn't make any sense, right? So be grounded in your truth. Truth isn't just about what you say, it's about who you be. Write that down. My truth is not just my words, it's my walk. My truth is not just my words, it's my walk. And in Legacy Business Live, in the Legacy Business Masterclass, I'm going to open the door and show you some hacks to do this kind of stuff, because I know that it's hard. So one of the things that I do is I support people who are in my classes as they do hard things. I've supported women as they've left marriages. I've supported women as they've stepped back into marriages. I've supported women as they've quit drinking. I've supported women as they've moved from one city to another. I've supported women as they've created really strong boundaries in relationships that are not aligned with who they are. I supported one woman as she came out because, bless her soul, for years, she felt like nobody loved her. And really what happened was, for her, she just needed to speak truthfully about who she was. And then she got married to the woman of her dreams about a year later, and they've been happily married now for, I think, about 8 years. But I said to her, I'm going to tell you why I think that you're not finding love. Because you're loving the wrong people. Like sometimes we just have to, wow, this hair is like, I don't know what's happening. Okay, let's do a little, there we go. I love how I can just play with it. Oh, so cute. Are we obsessed with this hair? Anyway, in those spaces, I support you. That's my point. I support you because I'm going to ask you to do things that you don't want to do. And I'm not going to ask you to do it and then walk away. I'm going to ask you to do it, and then I'm going to say, I'm going to be there every step of the way. And I am. And the women who have done my master classes over the years have had some of the biggest transformations of their lives in my little itty bitty master class, because I'm one of those people who tells you like it is. Right? $29 a month. Skip that Starbucks. Exactly. So in the Uncommon Woman Ministry, the global ministry is $29 a month. That's my global ministry space. And let me tell you, I coach my women in there. We meet 4 times a month. We meet every Thursday. 4. We meet every Thursday online. But the Legacy Business Masterclass is where I'm going to help you become the woman and the man who builds the business. And what do? We talk about who we are behind closed doors, right? That's really important. Okay. So, let me see here. I was just looking at my notes. So one of the things that's really important is that you're grounded in truth, you're confident in your message, you're clear in your leadership, and you're courageous in your expression. Whew, that's a lot. I know it's a lot. I know it feels like a lot to you. You're like, wait, I got to be truthful, and I have to be confident, and I have to be clear, and I have to know how to express myself. That's a lot. I'm out. No, listen. All you got to do is just show up as you. If you show up fully and completely as you, you've done all those things. Now, a lot of people need support in the leadership piece because they've never been leaders before. A lot of people really need support there. That's what the masterclass is for. The masterclass is the extra. It's like, okay, where's your leadership energy? I always say to people, pull your shoulders back. Just where you are right now, you guys, whether you're sitting or standing or in bed or whatever, get up, sit up. You shouldn't be watching this from bed anyway. This is a business masterclass. This is a business life. Pull your shoulders back, heart forward, plant your feet. You're already more powerful. Try it. When I walk into a room where I have a meeting, an important meeting, I don't walk in like this. I walk in like this. Shoulders behind your heart. Straightens your spine, clears your energy, right? You show up, it makes you about an inch and a half taller. I used to say to the women at my gym, I'm not even kidding you. They'd say, I want to lose weight. I'd say, you know what? Stand up straight. You guys, I had a gym for 5 years. Well, fitness business for 5 years. My own gym for 3. I shared a gym for 2. Okay, anyway. They'd come in and they'd say, I feel fat in my jeans, or I feel really schlumpy. But they'd walk in like this. And I'd say, you want to lose 5 pounds in 5 seconds? Stand up straight. And I would have them take a picture. I had these huge mirrors along my wall. I would have them take a picture, or I would take a picture of them like this. And then I would say, now stand up straight and pull your shoulders back. And they looked 5 pounds lighter. Because all of a sudden their waist would go in and their shoulders would go back. And they go, oh, and I'd say, like, stand up straight. On so many, okay, there you go. You just got your $30 a month membership worth, and I haven't even worked out with you yet. Like, you guys, how we walk into a room, how we carry ourselves, how we lead matters. Okay? All right, how was that today? So, what did we talk about today? We talked about the voice, right? We went back over the voice. We talked about the importance of treating your business, even if it's brand new, like a business. We talked about standing in your power. We talked about owning your story. We talked about using your mess as your message, your pain as your power. And now what we're going to do is we're going to get into that legacy business masterclass. And in 6 weeks, we're not even going to recognize ourselves, because we're going to stand different. We're going to not just say, oh, I have a business. We're going to be like, I have a legacy business. I am building a business. It's going to take me some time. There's a long runway ahead of me. But baby, when I take off, just you wait. Because it can be a legacy business today. It doesn't have to be a legacy business 10 years from now. That's the other thing, is I'm going to teach you how to do it faster than I did it. Okay? That matters. Start treating it like a legacy business today. How do you do that? You hire a mentor. It's $149 for the masterclass right now. $149 for 6 weeks. And I usually go around 60 to 90 minutes every week on Zoom. You get the recordings, you get coaching from me, and you build a community of other people who are doing the same thing. It is a game changer. But if you keep throwing gel at the wall, trying to do it yourself because you don't really know what you're doing, you're going to be in the same place 6 weeks from now, but maybe even more confused, because you're going to start downloading more free masterclasses and more free things, and all the free things that are in your email that you've never opened. You're actually going to be like, I don't even know what's going on. I have all these masterclasses that I downloaded for free. And I don't want to do it alone. And I've got filling up my inbox. I don't have any time. Here's the thing about a masterclass. I show up with you every Monday night at 7:00 for 6 weeks. And when you come on, you're not watching something boring by yourself. You're with me. You're with the people in the room. We're having a conversation. There's energy there. You are held accountable. It's different than downloading a free masterclass from Instagram that you never open. How many of you have done that? Hands up. You know what I did last year? I got rid of everything that I'd ever subscribed for, that I'd never even, I was going through I have all these passwords. I don't even know what they're for. I was the queen of, I'm going to become Pinterest famous, right? I'm going to start my business on Pinterest. Who's got time right now? So I just deleted everything that I wasn't using. And it's amazing. The spaciousness. When 2 or more gather, exactly. Okay? So the early bird is $149. The price goes up in the middle of the month, which is like next week. I always encourage people who are business owners to act like business owners and take action. People who are high-level business owners, high-level activators, they don't sit on things for months. You'll see them say, I'm in. Take my money. What do I have to do to get in? Because they don't put their energy in that. That's not where their energy goes, is in deciding. Their energy goes is in creating. See, and that's why there are people who just constantly create. You're like, man, this person puts out so much content, because they're not sitting around going, I wonder if I should or I shouldn't. They hit the button, they hit send, they hit submit, they hit register. They don't spend time making decisions whether they should or shouldn't. They follow their intuition. If your intuition says no, then don't do. But if your intuition says yes, do it. Right? That's how business owners make decisions. And here's the other thing I'm going to say before we go. How do you want people, I'm going to ask you this question. How do you want people to act in your business? I had a conversation with a girlfriend of mine yesterday, and she has a client who has outstanding invoices, like hundreds of thousands of dollars, people that owe her money. Yet she doesn't pay her contractors. So here's the thing. Energy matches energy. She doesn't realize that what's happening is her fault, not theirs. Right? You are what you tolerate. So if you want people to act in your business, if you want people to say, I'm buying that t-shirt, and then they go buy it instead of wait 6 months, then you need to be that person who makes decisions like that. That's how it works. That's how business works. Business is energy. Business is just a word. But really what you're doing is you're putting energy into things. How do you want people to act in your business? Exactly. If you want people to act in your business the way that you want them to act, which is to hit buy, to hit register, to say, yes, I'm in, then you need to be in that same energy. And sometimes it's a money thing, and I get it. And so then you make a commitment to yourself. Okay, I want to be in this thing, and I'm actually going to not go to Starbucks, and I'm not going to go to the thrift store, and I'm not going to scroll on social media and buy a bunch of stuff I don't need. I'm actually just going to commit to putting my money aside for that thing. And the second that it's done, it's done. This is huge. I've seen so many businesses fail because people who, and I know the people, and I'm like, your business is failing because look at how you treat business. People aren't making decisions because you've never made a decision in your life. Like, your business is a reflection of who you are. This is why people say that business is one of the greatest opportunities to build your personal, personal growth. If you are a business junkie, you're going to be a personal growth junkie, because you cannot be a business owner without growing, because it is not easy. Business is a whole business. Like, you have to have thick skin, resilience, incredible communication skills. You have to be healthy or you're never going to be able to do it. You have to be able to manage your money. You have to be able to manage people. You have to be able to do things on your own. You have to know about technology. You're going to have to learn about social media, all of that. You can't bring your junk into your business or your business is going to fail. You have to grow if you are a business owner. So if you think you're going to be the person now who's going to own the business that's a legacy business, unless you've been doing personal development for a long time and you're like, I'm going to do all the development first, you got to grow as your business grows. Okay? So for all of you who have the $149 and you're just sitting there and you're like, I want it, but you're not doing it, think about that. And I'm not putting pressure on you. You know, it could be me. There's a lot of coaches out there who are doing business coaching. If it's not me, go find somebody. But if you need it and you have the resources and your intuition says do it, then what is holding you back? Because that same energy is the energy that your clients are going to have with you. Do you see that's my whole point. Whether it's me or somebody else, it doesn't matter. Because one thing I do know is not everybody's for everybody, right? Take action and have faith that the people who you invest in, if you've been following them or you know them, have faith they're going to serve the heck out of you so that you have success. And if you don't have success, it's not their fault either. That's the other thing. No business coach is magic. What we do is we lay out a path and then we say, go do the work and I'll see you next week. And when people say, oh, I haven't had time to do the work, I'm like, well, then you don't have time to do a business, baby. If you don't have time to just do a masterclass, you're certainly not going to have time to do a business. You know what I'm saying? All right. I love you. Thank you for being on. This was so good. How do you guys feel? Put one word in the comments that you're feeling right now. Just put one word in the comments. It could be excited. It could be afraid. It could be aligned. It could be determined. It could be clear. It could be money. It could be excited. It could be nervous. It could be like legacy. What are you feeling right now? Put it in the comments. I'm feeling like I'm up leveling again. Empowered, amazing. Whenever I do calls like this, whenever I run master classes, my business up levels. Because I have to become a person every time that I run something like this that's different than the person I was before I ran it. So you're going to see me in a whole new energy, right? Every time I turn around, I'm growing. It's my favorite thing to do. Remarkable. Oh, I love that. Put your word in the comments. Okay. I love you guys. Okay, so before we go, a few reminders. Tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard, Uncommon Woman Ministry Live. You can now start to go and watch the lives on my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, go subscribe, okay? Go subscribe so that you can go and dig in. I have so much content. It's going to take me like a year to get all my content up on my YouTube channel, but you would be able to probably, in a few months, go and watch 1 million videos on my YouTube and your whole life would change. And it would be all for free, okay? So if you don't have, you guys, here's the thing. Somebody sent me a message the other day and they were like, what would you do if you were me? I have no money. I'm a single mom. It's a real story, right? Like her whole story was like all this stuff. She said, what would you do if you were me? Because she can't really afford to get daycare. Like I see, it's such a crazy cycle. You can't afford to get daycare because it's so stinking expensive. And so you can't go get a job. Right? But then you're home and then you're like, I don't know what I can be doing. Like I see the cycle. And I said to her, if you can't afford my program, go and watch all my free stuff. And everybody else's free stuff. Like honestly, you could go to YouTube and be like, business coaching. And if you actually find somebody that you really love, who you align with, and you watched every single one of their videos, you could build a business. Right? So my point is that if you can't afford it, that doesn't mean that you can't do it. Remember that I built a gym on $1,000 and I had never taken a business course or watched a video. Not one. That was before I even knew what coaching was. I went from a teacher to a fitness professional. This was in 2010. You guys, 15 years ago, 16 years ago, social media was really different. I went and built a business, a fitness business, not watching one business video. And I don't have a business background. And then I went and built a gym from the ground up. And I'd never watched a business video. Not one. I'm not even kidding you. I didn't start doing my personal and professional development till 2014. I've only been doing that 12 years, but let me tell you, when I found it, I was like, baby, you guys, you should see my books. You should see okay. I'm a book junkie. Behind me, I have Think and Grow Rich, The 4 Agreements, How to Lead, A Tribe Called Bliss, The Wealthy Barber, Unbranding, Buy Back Your Time, Atomic Habits, Women Who Run with Wolves, The Education of a Woman. Then I started buying books and reading books. And I have about 1,000, I'm not even joking you, personal development and business development books. I don't even read normal books anymore. I'm that person. Honestly, I always say I don't have time. If I want to build the business I want to build, I don't have time to read like a romance. You know, I don't. Sorry. Anyway, okay. I'm going to get going. I'm sorry I went over time. Thank you. Sorry, Alita, I went over time. See, this is the thing. I have to get used to having moderators who are like, excuse me, this is my life too. Okay. Anyway, I love you. I honor you. Stay uncommon. Go to RomiMarlowe.com. Get into the Legacy Business Masterclass. We start Monday, April 6th, and the price goes up next week. Okay? Get in the room. I love you. Thank you to my moderators.